Should I do it like this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you go.
Is that too high?
No, you're good.
No. Hey everyone, Dr. Tam here. I'd like to show you today on how to do standing sitting exercises for all of our mature adults. You can do this at home. You do not need a gym, all right? Let's get started. The first one is going to be a sit and standing exercise. I'm gonna turn my chair over here so you can see kind of at an angle where I want to be and where you should be. Sitting from a chair, a lot of times when we are losing strength in our legs and our back, here's what most of us end up doing. You end up leaning forward and then almost like using the motion of leaning forward to sit all the way up. But the key is I want to show you how to sit and stand and then go back to sitting correctly, all right? The first thing you want to do is, yes, you may have to lean forward a little bit, but you're going to tighten up your core, your glutes, and think of when you're standing, you're literally, don't think of it as your back coming up this way. Your back and hips and legs should move in the same direction so that your back is never doing this and then coming up like that. You're gonna throw your back out every single time. What you need is to have both of them come in a single motion, and it's going to look something like this, where you may lean forward a little bit, but watch my hips and back. They all come up at the same time, all the way up. Think of standing up like you are thrusting your hips forward, okay? Contracting your glutes and hamstrings, coming up like this, okay? That's what you need to be thinking about. Now, when you sit back down, once again, you are sitting, all right? Your hips go back first, everything comes straight down, and that's how you should be sitting. You might want to put your arms in front of you for balance, because if your arms are behind you like this, oh, you're gonna fall right back. But if you're coming up and your arms are in front of you initially, you may have to put your arms in front of you just for better balance. But over time, you're gonna be able to sit all the way like this. Do this 5 to 10 times a day until you feel comfortable. Don't rush any of these exercises. It's going to take you time, especially if this is the first time you've ever done them. But I promise you, over time, as you are practicing these exercises, you will get better and better at them. Exercise number 2, this next exercise you're going to do with you either standing in back of a chair, holding onto a counter, something, right? At the kitchen, at the, while you're brushing your teeth, and it's called hip abduction. Mainly what we're going to do is kick this hip out like that. So you're standing straight and you're kicking your hips this way while you're holding on to something. Make sure you hold on to something for good balance. Let me show you once as I'm in front of you like this. You're kicking your leg up this way. You're going to work. Initially, you're going to feel like, wow, this muscle's really, really weak. It's because your hip abductors are not really well developed. A lot of times when we're doing a lot of sitting, we're doing a lot of laying down, we're not using our hip abductors that much. Make sure you do this. Once again, do that 2 to 3 times a day, 2-3 sets, and you'll be good to go. Before you know it, you'll be going up and down the stairs. Getting in and out of the car is a lot easier, because think about it. Every time you step out of the car, what are you using? You're using your abductors on your hip to get it out of the car, to step out. Whether you step out on this side or whether you're stepping out on the other side, your hips are going to get really, really worked on, and this will protect your hips and your knees. So during this next one, exercise number 3 is going to be hip extension. Hip extension means that you want to fire your glutes and kick your leg back like this. You can do this 5 to 10 times on one side and then go the other leg. It's better to do it that way because you are going to train the endurance of your glutes. This is going to be really, really important, not only when you are getting in and out of your car, but when you are going up the stairs. When you lift up your leg, you have to push down, and that's all the firing of your glute muscle in the back. It's also going to give you that extra pep in your step as well, okay? Exercise number 4 is going to be a hip flexion. Now, this is something that I will recommend that you have some chair or support on the side of you, and then your opposite hip is what you're going to be doing it on so it has enough room. And what you're going to do very simply is coming up like this and back down. and it's just raising your leg all the way up. Pause it for maybe a second or half a second or a few more seconds to make sure your hip flexors are firing correctly. This is going to be huge if you want to climb the Great Wall one day, or maybe you just want to go up a flight of stairs. You need this muscle working correctly. Exercise number 5 and 6 is going to be heel and toe raises. What you need to do is you're going to be able to, from the side view, raise your toes, okay, or raise your heel, and then come back and raise your toes. Make sure you have something stable to hold on to in front of you, a counter space. I will prefer a counter space. Make sure during any of these exercises, if it hurts, you need to stop, or if you need to consult a specialist, make sure you do that, okay? So for the heel raise, you go like this, all right? You can do them 2 at a time. When you start getting better, you can do 1 at a time as well, all right? But right now, just do 2 at a time, do 5 or 10 of them. And then also, you can go with the toe raises as well, all right? So heel raise and toe raising, make sure you do them 5 or 10 times a day. Overall, you can do 2 to 3 sets of them. That's going to really strengthen your calf. Exercise number 7 is you practicing how to stand with good balance, whether it's on one leg or in tandem as well. Now, make sure you are doing this with support on the wall or someone's watching you. Don't do this alone. If you have poor balance, have someone watch you while you're doing it. What you're going to be able to do is, with counter space in front of you, is to just stand on one leg and see how you do. Initially, you might have to hold on to something, and then maybe eventually you'll be able to hold on to nothing. The other thing is tandem, where you are putting one feet in front of the other. Now make sure, if you do tend to have balance problems, to make sure you do it in the corner of a wall where your hands are completely holding on to something on both sides, to make sure you avoid a fall during this one, because we are testing your balance and we're retraining your balance on this one. The next one is going to be 2 stretches. One of them is the calf stretch. The other one is going to be your hamstring stretch. And I'll throw in a bonus one, a glute stretch, while you are sitting down, all right? So the first one's going to be your calf stretch. Every calf stretch has 2 different positions. The first one is you will be stretching your upper part of your calf. Then I'm going to show you how to stretch the lower part of your calf. So to stretch the upper part of your calf, make sure that you have one leg forward, one leg back. The leg back is the calf that we will be stretching. So from here, this knee is bent, this leg is nice and straight, and you are literally, what you're doing is you're driving your hip towards the corner of a chair. You could do this against the wall, and you're just stretching it like this while you're keeping your heel and foot completely flat on the ground, and you should feel a very, very nice stretch right along the back leg while keeping this whole leg straight. Every stretch, you want to do that for at least 30 seconds to 1 minute, and you can do that 3 to 4 times a day. Now, this is part 1. Part 2 is you're going to bring this leg forward and you're going to bend the knee, driving the knee into the ground while keeping your heel completely on the ground. And now you're going to feel this nice stretch called the Achilles tendon right down here. The next one is going to be your hamstrings. Now make sure all of these stretches you're able to do 3-4 times a day. Hold it for 30 seconds to a minute each. 30 seconds is a minimum. If you're not holding each stretch for more than 30 seconds, you're really not getting a stretch, okay? What we've learned in school, say count to 10, that's not going to work. So the next one's going to be hamstrings. Why do you want your hamstrings to be really, really loose? Is because a lot of times when we're driving, when we're sitting down in this motion, your hamstrings are completely tight and locked up. So what you want to do is while you are standing, hold on to a wall, a chair, a counter. You're going to put your foot on here, keep it nice and straight. And what you're going to do is, while keeping your back straight so you are not going to stress out your back, from here, I'm just going to lean forward like this. And the moment I start leaning forward, you're gonna feel this pull right in here. Make sure your foot is pointing forward and keeping everything straight. You're gonna feel that stretch in your hamstrings here. Once you're here, just hold on to it for 30 seconds to a minute, 3-4 times a day. Now, Actually, I told you I was gonna go over one bonus stretch with you. I'm gonna give you two bonus stretches, okay? One of them is going to be the hip flexor. How are you gonna stretch this? Once again, when you are sitting, you're doing a lot of sitting and this muscle is really, really tight. How you will do that is you will once again be on a chair like this. You're gonna hold on to a chair like that, and what you're going to do is you put this part of your knee towards the end of the chair, and you're going to drive your hips forward, and you should feel a really nice stretch right here. If you don't feel the stretch right here, then pull the leg up, and I guarantee you, you will feel a stretch through your hip flexors. Right here, hold it in this spot for about 20 to 30 seconds to a minute actually. And now if you have knee problems, you might say, well, Dr. Tam, my knee hurts really, really bad. Well, maybe it's time that you put a pillow right at the knee or find out what's really going on with that knee. The next one and the last one, bonus stretch number 2, is going to be your glutes. How you're gonna do that when you're sitting down, right? What you do is, this is the only time I'll recommend for you to cross your legs, okay? No other time will I recommend this. This is where you will cross this leg over here, okay? And you're going to grab this knee and pull this towards your shoulder. Once again, if you have hip problems or if it hurts, make sure you stop right away. But if it doesn't, this is what you need to do. Grab this knee, pull it towards the shoulder. If you are really, really flexible, you can grab your put your arm around this knee and pull this knee towards the opposite shoulder right through here. And you're gonna feel this nice stretch in here. Hold it for 30 seconds to a minute, right? Then you swap and do the other side. Hopefully, after today, you have not only standing exercises, but also lots of stretches for you to do, all right? Make sure you do them every single day. You should really spend at least 15 to 20 minutes just stretching and doing exercises every day. That's a minimum. And it's best to do stretches after your exercises. So how it should work is warm up, exercise, and always end it with the stretches. Don't have to do too much stretches before because you want to do it at the end after your muscles have gotten a lot of work. And if you don't have time to do it during the day, make sure you do it right before you go to sleep. You never, never, ever want to go to sleep with tight muscles. I'll see you next time. And I hope through all these exercises, you're able to do seated exercises at home, at the park. You can do it anywhere you want. I'll see you next time.